Many filmmakers are drawn to America's most haunted locations, where chilling history meets cinematic atmosphere. Places like the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, inspiration for The Shining, and the Queen Mary in California, filled with ghostly sailors, set the stage for horror. Abandoned prisons like Eastern State Penitentiary and hospitals like Linda Vista echo with eerie energy. These haunted landmarks attract directors seeking real fear, blending supernatural legends with unforgettable backdrops for terrifying films. Now we will visit the most haunted film locations in the USA. Number 1. The Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, is one of the most haunted film locations in the United States and a place where Hollywood and horror truly collide. Nestled in the Rocky Mountains, this grand hotel first opened in 1909, but its chilling reputation grew when it became the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. The hotel's eerie halls and ghostly energy not only inspired King's terrifying novel, but also attracted countless filmmakers and paranormal investigators. Though much of The Shining was filmed on sets, movies like Dumb and Dumber and television adaptations of The Shining have been shot here, and each production has carried away stories of strange, unexplainable events. Actors and crew members have spoken of icy drafts rushing through rooms with no open windows and footsteps echoing in empty corridors late at night. During filming, lights would flicker and equipment malfunctioned without reason, causing many to believe unseen hands were interfering. Some directors claim that cameras picked up strange shadows moving across the hallways, even when no one was there. Several crew members reported that their belongings disappeared from locked rooms, only to reappear in bizarre places later, as if someone or something was playing a cruel game. The most infamous haunted rooms are said to be Room 217 and Room 401. While shooting, actresses staying near these rooms woke up screaming, convinced someone was standing over their beds. One director confessed that he heard a woman crying outside his door, but when he rushed to open it, the hallway was completely empty. In Room 401, actors have described the chilling sensation of being watched, with icy hands brushing against their shoulders during the night. The Grand Ballroom is another spot of terror. Musicians and staff have often reported the sound of a piano playing by itself, and while filming scenes there, crew members heard soft music even when the piano lid was closed and untouched. Some actors swore they saw ghostly figures dressed in early 1900s clothing moving among the shadows, watching silently before fading into the darkness. The Stanley Hotel has become legendary not just for its cinematic connections, but for the spine-chilling experiences of those who dared to work there. Filmmakers came seeking atmosphere but left with unforgettable encounters, proving that the Stanley is more than a film location. It is a true house of restless spirits. Number 2. Winchester Mystery House. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California, stands as one of the strangest and most haunted film locations in the United States. Built by Sarah Winchester, widow of the rifle magnate William Winchester, the mansion was designed to confuse spirits she believed were seeking revenge for lives lost to the Winchester rifle. For decades, Sarah ordered constant construction, creating staircases that lead nowhere, doors that open into walls, twisting hallways, and windows placed inside the house instead of outside. This bizarre architecture alone sets a terrifying atmosphere, making it irresistible for filmmakers. It became the backdrop for the supernatural film Winchester 2018 and has been used in paranormal documentaries and television shows. Actors, directors, and crew who have worked within its halls tell stories that make even the bravest shiver. During the filming of Winchester, several crew members reported hearing hammering and footsteps echoing from the upper floors, though no construction had been done there in years. One actress described a moment where she felt her script being tugged out of her hands by an invisible force, leaving her shaken and unable to continue filming until she calmed down. Others claimed to hear faint whispers calling their names, even when they were alone in locked rooms. The most terrifying incident reportedly happened to a cameraman in the infamous seance room, where Sarah Winchester supposedly communicated with spirits. As he adjusted his equipment, he felt something cold brush against his back, followed by a firm shove that nearly knocked him to the ground. Shaken, he insisted on never entering that room again. Another director confessed that his camera captured strange orbs of light drifting through a corridor, only to vanish the moment he tried to follow them. Hauntings are not limited to the seance room. In the Hall of Fires, an actor claimed to see a tall, shadowy figure glide past him, only to disappear into a wall. In the Daisy bedroom, where Sarah Winchester once fainted, crew members heard the sound of a woman gasping for air. Cold spots, sudden drafts, and doors slamming shut on their own have left many convinced that Sarah's restless energy still lingers. Unlike other haunted film sites, the Winchester house feels alive with confusion and mystery, a place where the dead still wander the endless halls. For those who come to film, it is more than a backdrop. It is a labyrinth of fear where the spirits themselves seem to join the production. Number 3. Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles, California, is unlike any other film location in America. Here, the line between Hollywood glamour and restless spirits has completely blurred. Founded in 1899, it is the final resting place of countless legends, including Rudolph Valentino, Douglas Fairbanks, and Judy Garland. While it is one of the most iconic cemeteries in the world, it has also become one of the most haunted. Its eerie beauty and chilling energy have attracted filmmakers, with movies like The Player 1992 and LA Story 1991 filmed on its grounds. Music videos, documentaries, and even horror-themed projects often return here for its unsettling atmosphere. But behind the camera, the stories are far darker. Actors working late-night shoots have described seeing shadowy figures wandering between the tombstones. One actress broke down in tears after she swore a man dressed in a 1920s tuxedo approached her during a scene, only to vanish in front of her eyes. Crew members have heard faint applause echoing from the mausoleum, as though the ghosts of long-gone performers were still demanding attention. The ghost of Rudolph Valentino is the most famous spirit said to roam the cemetery. During one nighttime shoot, a director reportedly saw a tall man standing by Valentino's crypt. Thinking it was an extra, he called out, but the man disappeared instantly, leaving the entire crew shaken. Another chilling encounter occurred near the lake, where technicians claimed to see ghostly women in flowing gowns walking on the water's surface before dissolving into mist. Even equipment seems to be cursed here. Cameras malfunction, batteries drain, and microphones pick up voices whispering names that no one recognizes. A sound engineer once quit mid-production after his recordings repeatedly captured a woman sobbing, though no one on set was crying. Lights flicker in rhythm, as if unseen hands are playing with the power. Perhaps the most terrifying incident happened during a late-night scene involving the mausoleum. An actor preparing his lines felt a cold hand grip his wrist tightly. He turned to see who it was, but no one stood there. He left the project the next day, refusing to return. Hollywood Forever Cemetery is more than a graveyard. It is a stage where spirits never stop performing. For filmmakers, it offers haunting beauty, but for those who work there, it is a reminder that in Hollywood, even death cannot silence the stars. Number 4. Linda Vista Community Hospital. Linda Vista Community Hospital in Los Angeles, California, is one of the most terrifying film locations in the United States. Built in the 1920s as a railway hospital, it became infamous for overcrowding, mistreatment of patients, and countless deaths. By the time it closed in 1991, its crumbling halls and abandoned wards were already filled with ghost stories. Filmmakers quickly took notice of its eerie atmosphere, and it became a set for movies such as End of Days 1999, Insidious, Chapter 2 2013, and Pearl Harbor 2001, as well as countless horror TV shows and music videos. Yet, along with its cinematic fame came sinister experiences that shook actors and directors to the core. During the filming of Insidious, Chapter 2, several cast members complained of sudden cold drafts rushing down the hallways, even when the air conditioning was turned off. An actress recounted that, while rehearsing her lines, she saw a figure in a hospital gown standing at the end of the corridor. Thinking it was an extra, she waved, but the figure slowly faded into the wall. She refused to return to that hallway for the rest of production. Directors and crew have also spoken about strange equipment malfunctions. Cameras would suddenly shut down, lights would explode without cause, and microphones picked up faint groans and screams as if dozens of suffering patients were still trapped inside. One sound technician claimed his headphones filled with the sound of a heart monitor flatlining, though no such machine was in use. He left the set in terror, convinced the hospital was replaying echoes of its tragic past. The operating rooms are said to be the most cursed. While shooting a surgery scene, one cameraman felt someone tapping his shoulder. Expecting to see another crew member, he turned, only to find himself alone, with the surgical lights flickering above him. In another instance, a director swore he saw a nurse in a blood-stained uniform walk past him. When he rushed to follow, she vanished into a locked room that hadn't been opened in years. Perhaps the most disturbing story came from a young actor who fainted after claiming he saw a stretcher roll by on its own, carrying the body of a pale, lifeless child. No one else saw it, yet the actor refused to continue filming in the hospital. Linda Vista is more than an abandoned set. It is a living nightmare, a place where the dead seem eager to join the production. For every film shot there, its restless spirits have left their mark, reminding cast and crew that some stories refuse to stay buried. Number 5. Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel in Los Angeles, California, is one of the most glamorous yet haunted film locations in the United States. Built in 1927, it has hosted countless stars of the golden age of Hollywood, but beneath its luxury lies a chilling reputation. The hotel has been featured in films such as Catch Me If You Can 2002, Almost Famous 2000, and Internal Affairs 1990, and its Spanish colonial architecture makes it a favorite for directors. Yet, many who have worked here during filming claim that the Roosevelt's ghosts are just as famous as its guests. Perhaps the most unsettling presence is said to be that of Marilyn Monroe, who lived at the hotel for a time. During a late-night shoot in the grand lobby, an actress was adjusting her costume in a mirror once owned by Monroe. She froze in terror when she saw a second reflection in the glass, a blonde woman with glowing skin staring back at her. When she turned, no one was behind her. That mirror, rumored to be haunted by Marilyn's spirit, has terrified countless crew members who claim to see flickers of her image. Another ghostly figure tied to the Roosevelt is Montgomery Clift. He stayed in room 928 while filming From Here to Eternity, and actors working in that wing often report hearing trumpet music, the instrument Clift practiced late at night, echoing through empty halls. One young actor rehearsing lines swore that someone whispered corrections in his ear, though the room was completely empty. Shaken, he left the production early, convinced Clift's spirit was still performing. During the filming of a ballroom scene, a director described the lights dimming without warning. Suddenly, cold air swept across the set, and several extras gasped as a ghostly couple in 1930s attire danced across the floor before fading into thin air. Crew members refused to step into that ballroom after dark again. Cameramen have also shared unnerving stories. One claimed he was setting up equipment when his camera captured a shadowy figure walking across the mezzanine. When he looked with his own eyes, there was no one there. Others reported the sound of children laughing and running in the hallways, though no children were present. The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel lures filmmakers with its old-world charm, but those who work here often leave with more than just film reels. They leave with memories of chilling encounters that blur the line between Hollywood's golden age and the restless dead who never left the stage. Number 6. Hotel Monte Vista. Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona, is one of the most chilling and haunted film locations in the United States. Built in 1927, this historic hotel quickly became a hotspot for Hollywood stars filming westerns in the nearby desert. Its vintage charm and eerie atmosphere have made it a favorite backdrop for filmmakers, with scenes from classics like Casablanca 1942 and several independent horror films shot here. But behind the camera, the Monte Vista is infamous for encounters that terrified actors, directors, and crew members, making it a legend in its own right. During one production, an actress staying in room 210 was awakened in the middle of the night by heavy breathing beside her bed. When she opened her eyes, she saw a man in a dark suit standing over her, but within seconds, he vanished into the shadows. Shaken, she refused to spend another night in the hotel. This ghost, believed to be a long-dead guest, has been reported many times by actors who worked in Flagstaff. The Phantom Bellboy is perhaps the most notorious spirit here. Several directors have spoken of knocks on their doors, followed by a cheery voice announcing room service. But when they opened the door, no one was there. One actor described how the doorknob turned on its own and rattled violently as if someone was desperate to get in. Cameras later showed the knob twisting, but no hand could be seen. Room 305 has its own terrifying reputation. While filming a Western project, a cameraman staying there woke up to find a woman sitting silently in the chair by his bed. She stared at him with hollow eyes before fading away. The man left the hotel immediately, refusing to return to finish the shoot. Other crew members have described hearing faint cries of a baby echoing through the halls, though no children were present. One director recounted that during a night shoot in the hotel lounge, the jukebox suddenly turned on by itself, playing a 1930s swing tune at full volume. When they tried to unplug it, the music continued until the entire crew fled the room. Hotel Monte Vista's history of murder, tragedy, and restless spirits has left its mark on every filmmaker who has worked there. It is more than a location. It is a haunted stage where the ghosts of Flagstaff seem eager to play their parts, ensuring no one forgets their presence once the cameras stop rolling. Number 7. Gaineswood Plantation. Gaineswood Plantation in Demopolis, Alabama, is one of the most haunted and atmospheric film locations in the United States. Built in the mid-1800s, this Greek Revival mansion stands as a monument to Southern grandeur, but its history is drenched in sorrow. Today, filmmakers are drawn to its looming white columns and shadow-filled halls, which have appeared in historical documentaries and Southern Gothic productions. Yet, behind its elegance lies a chilling reputation. The spirit of a music teacher said to have died tragically within its walls still lingers, and countless actors and directors have left with stories of terror they will never forget. During a period of filming for a Civil War documentary, an actress practicing her lines in the grand parlor suddenly froze when the piano began to play by itself. A haunting melody drifted through the room, though the keys moved with no one seated at the instrument. Crew members stood in shock, and when one director tried to capture the moment on camera, the film jammed and the lights went out. Many believe it was the ghost of Eunice, the plantation's former music instructor, who is said to wander the home, forever tied to her piano. Actors working late into the night have described cold spots sweeping through the mansion without warning. One young performer recalled hearing soft humming behind her as she rehearsed in a bedroom, only to turn and see the figure of a woman in a long dress vanish through the wall. Others reported being touched by unseen hands, as if someone were guiding them across the stage. The most terrifying incident involved a director who stayed overnight during a shoot. He awoke to the sound of footsteps pacing in the hallway outside his room. Believing it was security, he opened the door, only to find the corridor empty. As he stepped back, the door slammed shut with such force that the glass pane cracked. He left the next morning and swore never to film inside Gaineswood again. Even the basement holds dark energy. Crew members exploring it for atmospheric shots claim to hear moaning, as if someone were trapped below. One cameraman dropped his equipment when he saw a shadow figure crawling along the floor before vanishing into the darkness. For filmmakers, Gaineswood Plantation offers beauty steeped in history, but it also delivers a chilling reminder that tragedy never rests. The ghosts that linger here seem determined to make themselves part of every production, ensuring the stories of their sorrow are never forgotten. Number 8. Driskill Hotel. The Driskill Hotel in Austin, Texas, is one of the most haunted film locations in the United States, where Southern luxury collides with chilling paranormal legends. Opened in 1886, this grand Victorian-style hotel has been a backdrop for movies such as Miss Congeniality 2000, Waking Life 2001, and numerous documentaries exploring its eerie reputation. Its opulent marble floors and gilded halls lure filmmakers, but actors, directors, and crew often leave whispering about the terrifying experiences they endured while working inside. One of the hotel's most tragic spirits is that of a young girl who fell to her death while chasing a ball down the grand staircase. During a late-night film shoot, an actress reported hearing the rhythmic sound of a ball bouncing across the marble lobby. When she turned, she saw a small shadow dart past her, followed by soft giggles. The crew searched the entire floor, but no child was there. The actress refused to film near the staircase again, convinced the girl was still playing her endless game. Another well-known legend involves the suicidal bride. Several crew members working on a romantic scene described an overwhelming feeling of sorrow in one of the fourth-floor suites. One director recalled how the atmosphere became unbearably heavy, and the lead actress broke down crying without knowing why. Later, they discovered it was the very room where a bride had taken her life decades earlier after being abandoned on her wedding night. Many believe she still lingers, weeping in silence. Musicians filming a concert sequence inside the Driskill's ballroom told chilling stories of ghostly interference. One pianist felt the keys pressed down on their own, producing a haunting melody even after he stopped playing. Lights above flickered violently, and the sound system produced static that some claimed contained faint whispers. The most terrifying incident happened to a cameraman who stayed overnight in a guest room during filming. He woke up around 3 a.m. to see a tall man in a cowboy hat standing at the foot of his bed. Believing it was a prank, he shouted at the figure, but the man simply vanished into the wall. Terrified, the cameraman refused to remain in the hotel and finished his work remotely. The Driskill is more than a film location. It is a stage for restless spirits whose stories seep into every production. For those who come here seeking Hollywood magic, they often leave with haunting memories, convinced that the ghosts of Austin's most famous hotel still walk the gilded halls. Number 9. Moundsville Penitentiary. Moundsville Penitentiary in West Virginia is one of the most feared and haunted film locations in the USA, its dark history carved into its cold stone walls. Operating from 1876 to 1995, this Gothic fortress was the site of brutal murders, riots, and executions. Its terrifying atmosphere has made it a popular backdrop for films and TV, including Out of the Furnace 2013, The Night of the Hunter 1955, Exterior Inspirations, and several horror documentaries like Paranormal Lockdown and Ghost Adventures. But for the actors, directors, and crew who dared to work here, the true horror was not scripted, it was real. During filming, several actresses complained about being touched by unseen hands while walking down the infamous Sugar Shack, the prison's underground recreation room. One actress froze mid-scene after feeling cold fingers brush across her neck, even though no one was behind her. Crew members swore they heard laughter echoing through the hall, even though the room was completely empty. The prison's execution block is said to be the most cursed area. A director shooting a tense sequence near the gallows suddenly collapsed, claiming he couldn't breathe. He later said it felt like a noose had been tightened around his throat. Shockingly, the footage captured strange flickering shadows swinging across the walls, even though no lights were moving. Actors refused to rehearse there afterward. Another terrifying moment occurred when a cameraman was filming near a cell where an inmate had been stabbed to death during a riot. He later reviewed the footage only to find a ghostly figure pacing inside the locked cell. The figure vanished into thin air after a few seconds, leaving him too shaken to continue. One of the most disturbing incidents happened to a sound engineer recording dialogue near the prison's infirmary. He kept hearing groans and screams through his headphones, even though the cast was silent. Thinking it was a technical issue, he reset his equipment, but the sounds only grew louder until a loud, blood-curdling scream pierced through, forcing the crew to abandon the area for the night. Actors often spoke of feeling watched, and some even left production early, claiming the energy of Moundsville was too oppressive to handle. Crew members whispered that the spirits of executed prisoners, vengeful inmates, and tortured souls made themselves known during every shoot. Moundsville Penitentiary is not just a prison, it is a graveyard of restless spirits, making every film shot here feel like an invitation to the other side. Number 10. Oheka Castle. Oheka Castle in Huntington, New York, is often called one of the most glamorous filming locations in the country. But beneath its beauty lies a chilling legacy that has haunted every film crew brave enough to step inside. Built in 1919 by financier Otto Kahn, this French-style chateau has been used in countless productions, from Citizen Kane 1941 to What Happens in Vegas 2008, as well as music videos like Taylor Swift's Blank Space. But the elegance of Oheka hides a sinister energy that actors, actresses, and directors have felt all too strongly during filming. Many stars who filmed here complained of a constant sensation of being followed down its endless corridors. An actress working on a period film collapsed in terror after she swore she saw a shadowy man in old-fashioned clothing step out of a doorway, only to vanish when the crew turned the corner. What made it worse was that her scream was caught on camera, though no figure was ever visible in the footage. Directors have also reported strange interference with their equipment. Cameras set up in the grand ballroom would inexplicably stop recording or capture distorted images, dark, faceless figures lingering near the mirrors. One frustrated filmmaker swore he saw a woman in a flowing gown standing at the top of the staircase during setup, only for her to disappear when he looked again. Crew members later whispered about Otto Kahn's spirit still roaming the castle, unwilling to leave the empire he built. The bedrooms, often used as film sets, are said to be the most haunted of all. One actress filming an emotional scene felt her hair being pulled sharply backward, though no one was behind her. She refused to sleep in the castle afterward, insisting on being driven to a nearby hotel each night. Another actor claimed he saw his reflection blink at him in the mirror when he hadn't moved at all. Perhaps the most terrifying moment came during the shoot of a late-night sequence in the gardens. A director reported seeing strange lights flickering across the hedges, followed by the sound of footsteps crunching in the gravel. The entire cast froze when a ghostly whisper carried through the night air, saying, "Leave this place." Oheka Castle may be a jewel of American cinema, but its haunted reputation lingers as much as its beauty. For many, filming here feels less like stepping onto a set and more like stepping into a nightmare.